All right, so I am back. Unfortunately, we got disconnected last time, but back to what I was saying about Spider-Man, and basically me gushing about Spider-Man is that his villains are related to him in some way, shape, or form. So, with someone like the Green Goblin, who we're going to talk about, we're going to into a bit more depth about him later. So, Green Goblin is his best friend's father. Michael Morbius, the living vampire, is one of Peter's classmates. And someone that he knows. Dr. Kirk Connors was Peter's science teacher and someone that he looked up to. Dr. Octopus was someone that Peter also looked up to. So all of Spider-Man's villains are people that Peter either knows or knows about. And that's what's so interesting is that they're all connected to him in some way, shape, or form. And looking at Spider-Man, he's similar to Batman because that's also sort of how Batman's villains are structured in a way, except Batman doesn't quite have as much a connection with his villains as Spider-Man does. Now, Batman's villains are unique for their own reason, but that's a topic for another day. So, we're going to go into a bit more depth in Green Goblin, though, because Green Goblin is perhaps my favorite Spider-Man villain. And that's just because almost everything about him is goofy, is ridiculous, but it's so cool. And Green Goblin, like I said, is his best friend Harry Osborn's father, Norman. So Norman Osborn is extremely rich, similar to Iron Man. But how Goblin came to be is that Osborn was forced out of his own company, which was Oscorp. And Osborn did not like that at all. Now, the reason for him being forced out varies depending on who you ask. But um, Osborn develops an experiment with this experimental drug and he tests it on himself, which I think is a lot of why there are so many heroes and villains. I think that's how a lot of them get their powers is some kind of lab accident. And sure enough, sure as the sun will rise, Osborn is altered physically and mentally by this drug and becomes the Goblin. And he seeks to get vengeance on those who forced him out of his company, but of course is stopped by the web slinger Spider-Man. And so Goblin has shown up various times. He's taken on various owners. The mantle of Green Goblin has taken on various owners, both Norman Osborn, his son Harry, and they've all come after Spider-Man for various reasons. And that's why Goblin is always so is really a cool villain in my opinion. And his color scheme of green and purple and that absolutely menacing appearance. And it does look a bit ridiculous, but it looks so cool. And depending on who draws it, Goblin looks absolutely monstrous. And it also helps that growing up I watched